The daily system that changes everything. 1. The quiet lie about money. Let me tell you something strange about wealth. Most people believe money changes when something big happens, a promotion, a lucky investment, a business that suddenly explodes. But if you study the lives of people who quietly become wealthy, something else appears. Their wealth did not arrive like lightning. It arrived like rain. Not a storm, not a flood, just small drops falling every single day. And over time, those drops filled a reservoir. The problem is that modern financial advice rarely talks about daily behavior. It talks about yearly goals, retirement plans, long-term investments, big financial milestones. But your financial life does not happen yearly. It happens daily. Every morning you wake up inside an economy. Every afternoon you make spending decisions. Every evening money has moved somewhere. And every night, whether you noticed or not, your future moved slightly forward or slightly backward. That is the quiet truth most people miss. Your financial future is not built by dramatic moments. It is built by ordinary days. And if your days are not designed properly, you can work harder every year and still feel stuck. But there is a simple way to see exactly where your financial life is heading. A calculation so small that most people never think to perform it. And once you see it, you will never look at money the same way again. 2. The calculation that exposes your financial future. Take the amount of money you save in a year. Now divide it by 365 days. That number is the amount you are paying your future self each day. Most people never think in these terms. They think in salaries, monthly bills, annual income. But wealth builders think in daily deposits into the future. And when you run this calculation, the results are often shocking. For many people, the number is 0. For some people, the number is actually negative, meaning every day their future becomes slightly poorer. Now do something else. Think about the most financially stable person you know. Not a billionaire, not a celebrity, just someone you've actually met whose life feels financially solid. During their wealth-building years, their daily number probably looked like this: $100 per day, $200 per day, $300 per day, sometimes more. That gap explains far more about financial outcomes than intelligence ever could. It explains more than luck, more than connections, more than talent. Because the truth is simple. If one person sends $10 a day into their future and another sends $200, the result after 10 years is not subtle. It is enormous. But here is where psychology becomes fascinating. Saving $36,500 a year feels impossible to many people. Saving $10 a day feels difficult but achievable. It's the same number, but one feels like climbing Everest. The other feels like walking up a hill. The daily frame changes everything. And once you start thinking this way, your entire financial strategy begins to shift. You stop asking, "How do I get rich someday?" And you start asking, "What did I send to my future today?" That question quietly reshapes your life. But numbers are not enough, because money problems rarely come from math. They come from behavior, and behavior comes from identity. 3. Why most people stay broke. Most people believe poverty comes from low income. Sometimes that's true, but often the real cause is something more subtle. It's the absence of a system. Without a system, money flows through life like water through open fingers. Paychecks arrive, bills appear, impulse purchases sneak in, subscriptions renew quietly in the background, and at the end of the month, people ask the same tired question: where did my money go? But money did not disappear. It simply followed the path of least resistance. which means the real difference between people who stay broke and people who build wealth is not income, it's structure. Wealth builders design their financial life like an engineer designing a bridge. Every day, money is directed somewhere. Every habit pushes the system slightly forward. Every decision reinforces a direction. People without a system drift. People with a system accumulate. And here's the beautiful part. A system does not require perfection. It only requires consistency. Which means if you can design 5 simple daily habits, something remarkable happens. Your financial life begins to move automatically, even on days when you feel tired, even when motivation disappears, even when the economy becomes uncertain. The system keeps working, and it begins with the smallest habit in the entire framework, one that takes less than 60 seconds. 4. Habit 1. The Morning Money Minute. Every morning, before you check messages, before you open social media, before the world starts pulling your attention in every direction, take 1 minute. Open your financial app. Look at 3 numbers: your checking account balance, your total debt, and your investments or savings. That's it. No analysis, no stress, no complicated thinking. Just look. At first, this might feel insignificant, but something powerful happens when you observe your finances daily. Your brain begins to treat money as real and immediate. Most people check their finances once a month, or worse, only when something goes wrong, which means their financial life exists in the shadows. But what you observe daily becomes important to your mind. Athletes check their performance every day. Business owners check their numbers daily. Wealth builders check their financial position every morning. And slowly, something changes. When you have just seen your debt balance, buying something impulsively feels different. When you have just seen your savings growing, skipping an unnecessary expense feels meaningful. This one habit quietly links your daily choices to your future life. And after a few weeks, something surprising happens. The numbers stop feeling emotional. They stop feeling like judgment. They simply become information, clear, neutral, useful. And once that emotional fog disappears, better decisions start appearing naturally. But awareness alone does not build wealth. Awareness must be paired with action, which leads to the next habit, the one that begins turning daily awareness into daily progress. 5. Pay your future self daily. Most people save money at the end of the month, and that's where the problem begins. Because by the end of the month, life has already happened. Bills arrived, temptations appeared, unexpected expenses popped up, and whatever remains is often small or nothing. Wealth builders reverse the flow. They pay their future self first, not monthly, daily. Here's how it works. Set up a separate savings or investment account. Then automate a daily transfer from your checking account. It can be small, $5, $10, $20. What matters is not the amount. What matters is the frequency. Because something interesting happens when the transfer becomes daily. A $300 monthly transfer feels heavy. It creates a noticeable dent in your balance. Your brain panics. You postpone it. Sometimes you skip it. But a $10 daily transfer feels almost invisible. Your balance barely moves. Your brain barely notices. Yet by the end of the month, you have saved the same $300. And over time, those invisible transfers become a quiet engine of progress. 30 deposits become 60. 60 become 100. 100 become 365 days. And slowly, something deeper begins forming, an identity. You stop feeling like someone trying to save money. You begin feeling like someone who builds wealth daily. Identity is powerful because identity removes friction. When saving becomes part of who you are, consistency stops feeling like discipline. It begins to feel like normal life. But wealth is not built only by saving more. It's also built by understanding how money leaves your life. And that's where the next habit begins.